Okay, people, we have 20 minutes. Let's use our 20 minutes to numie was. Anything to talk about, ask me a question and I'll answer it. Should we go to Tanzania? Huh? Mambo ya TZ ilikuwa fulani bwana. Now, this is what happened. You were not there, so I'm giving you the story. Angelina's parents, Angelina's mom and dad, left us home alone. When I'm discharged from the hospital, Arusha, St. Elizabeth Hospital. You don't know the hospital. It's a government hospital. It's a big hospital in Arusha. The next day, they leave home to go to Dodoma. Dodoma is another place in the region. It's now a town or a city. That's where the capital city of Dar es Salaam is. Yes. The business city is Dar es Salaam, and the capital city, or you call it the administrative city, is in Dodoma. And they had a house there. So the morning after I wake up in the guest wing, because remember, when I left hospital with Angelina and the mom, and I was returning to the hotel. I was returning to New Arusha Hotel, where I had checked in for 2 weeks. Alafu waliniambia, kwa sababu si mambo mzuri kurudi huko nikae kuko peke yake, that it wasn't a good idea for me to go and stay alone in the hotel. Of course, Angelina was none but the wiser. This was going to work all in her interest, because she would take care of me. So the next morning, Angelina's parents leave. They leave us home alone. They pack up and drive off. For some reason, it only registered later when Angelina tells me that wazee wameenda huko kwa Dodoma, and that is the place the mom had visited earlier on. Remember when I was at the hotel, one of the days Angelina would tell me that her mom had gone to Dodoma. So it was something you kind of piece together. So alafu nilimuuliza, I asked her, so who is at home with you now? Tuko peke yake tu. That we are only the two of us. They were the home helps, of course, because this was a very big house. It was a very big house, splash house. You know, these big houses, rich people, they usually have servants and cleaners and domestic and everybody there. Those who were there doing their work. So it was basically me and Angelina accessing the main house. Do you see what is happening in the story now? So during this time of my recuperation, I'm making steady recovery. And at some point, Angelina has to change the dressings of the wound. She ignored the fact that I should go back to the hospital and said she would do it herself. Alikuwa anasema yeye anajua. She knows how to. She knew, she was wiser. She said, okay, no problem, you can take care of that. And that's how days go by until the weekend. That Sunday, we would go to church together. St. James's Church, Anglican Church. And we would do, that was a very, very big ordeal when we went to the church. It wasn't something that I would surmise. I wouldn't even have thought of it, that it would have happened. Because remember, I was coming through a lot of things. And by now, all this time I'm at the Angelina's, I'm staying in the guest wing with her in the same bed. Tulikuwa tuko kama couple, tumeshaoa, whatever. You know, we were like a married couple. The guest wing was very splash. It was a very luxury part of the accommodation. Very, very nice. And our love is growing stronger every day. You know, she's taking care of me. You know, we were sitting out. She would run a few errands in and out. She would show me her car, a Jeep, parked in the garage. It was a gift. It was a gift to her from the dad. Kama niseme alikuwa amaendeleza hiyo gari siku moja like that, once in a while. It was a very nice car, a Jeep. And she would show it to me. Come on. You know these things, you are slowly getting sucked in. Alikuwa mtoto wa mdosi. She was not like and the only daughter, meaning that pretty much she had privilege to so much in her life. And the only person in her life lacking was a man, Bwana. And my conclusions were beginning to add up. I wasn't being stitched up. No, of course, I was smart. But the parents pretty much wanted this relationship to work. And they create a safety net for everything to fall in. We were home alone. So, and the fact that I had been bitten by a snake had reverberated widely in Arusha. Arusha back then was a very small place. It was a very small place. And it is about the who is who. Mmefahamu? Do you know what I mean, people? Umejulikana? Alikuwa mtoto wa Mudosi ni mtajiri. Mtajiri is a rich person. Amerudi kutoka Amerika, ameshamaliza masomo, alafu akirudi nyumbani tena aiendelee mbele na biashara ya family. She was in the business, in the family business. You know, they had shops, you know that, I already told you that. Walikuwa na biashara kama kubwa, mafaktori, mafaktori kama hivyo. So you can see that their parents were playing a hand in securing their daughter a potential suitor. Alafu na mimi the fact that I had finished my studies gave them that opportunity to initiate what would be something conclusive, call it that. Conclusive. I had all the what? Kama niseme nini? You know, the right qualities, kama seme, you can say the right qualities. And nimeshamaliza masomo, I'm very humble, I'm very like, and the daughter is so much into me, and the mom. Because, let me take these glasses off. Now, those who are just getting the story, or you're just getting into the story, let me tell you this. Kama nikurudishe, let me take you back from the beginning. I was visiting Arusha. I had finished my studies in Kenya. And because I was returning back to Uganda, rafiki wangu Hamadi, a very good friend of mine, a Tanzanian friend of mine, tulikuwa tunasoma pamoja, we were studying together in Nairobi. staying together in Nairobi, Pumwani Boys Hostel, Pumwani Christian Boys Hostel, Isili. So he finishes his studies with me, then he returns back to Tanzania. But on the premise, we had agreed that I will visit him. I said, okay, no problem. Me, I can come to Tanzania, no problem. Tanzania is not very far. Eh? So he gave me the itinerary of everything to do. Just take a bus. All buses arriving in Arusha arrive at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. All buses coming from where? From Nairobi. So I knew which time, which day. So, and he advised me that Friday is always the best day to travel because of the tourists and everything. There's always big commotion at the border, Namanga, the border between Tanzania and Kenya. And that Friday I traveled. Are you with me? That Friday I traveled. I arrived in Arusha at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The bus checks in, the bus enters the bus stop. Hamadi was waiting because they knew the buses that come from Nairobi, and they had a very big shop. The Hamadis had, walikuwa na biashara kubwa sana kwa at the market, very big shop, like a distribution, retail shop, whatever, wholesale. So he was there waiting for me. I was very happy to see him, and he took me to his shop, to the family shop, the daddy's shop. I was introduced to the dad. Ni rafiki wangu, tulikuwa tunasoma naye, blah 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 blah. They were very happy to see me, but in the excitement, are you with me? In the excitement, I excused myself to go and look around. I was just, nilikuwa nataka kuangalia fast fulani. Hey, I hadn't walked so much around on the streets. That is when I saw a mom and a daughter walking. They were, you would see, these are upscale people, watu unaona watu watajiri. You can always tell people who are affluent, you can always tell. So they were around shopping. So when they saw me, I looked at them. They could probably tell I was not Tanzanian or I wasn't from within. Alafu nilisumama, I stopped and I said hi. Niliwasalamia, habari. The habari salamia, that is Kenya. Because our watu wa TZ, they don't greet like that. They greet differently. Shikamo, maraheb, whatever. The Swahili in Tanzania is totally different. So they knew, wewe unatokea wapi? And that was it. It was a very, very casual encounter and minus any drama. And that was it. Niliwaambia, I'm here, nimekuja kwa Arusha kuona rafiki yangu huko, that's it. It was just like that. Now, when I returned back to the shop, I told Hamadi that I've met some Tanzanian people, I've made some new friends. Hey, wewe Muganda nini kwa upesi nini niaje bwana, But he did not tell me that he knew them. Later on, that weekend on the Saturday, there is a party at the Hamadis. And they turn up. Oh, imagine setting eyes on somebody you saw a day before and ulikuwa attracted towards that. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. So the Hamadi family was acquainted with the Angelina family. Walikuwa wanajulikana kama niseme hivyo. So it wasn't a step far. Do you know what I mean, people? It's something like out of the woodworks. So those who are following the story now, I'm in Tanzania to the point that I'm bitten a snake. I'm bitten by a snake, nyoka, and that would turn everything on top of each other. In the end, I'm caught in between situations. I almost came this close to making a decision to stay in Tanzania. I was caught in between people. I was in love. It didn't happen like it was meant to be like that. It just snowballed to the point that now I'm staying in their house. Nyumba. Yeah. But I had to return to Uganda. That was the big one. That was the big one. You know the story. My mom was ill. I was meant to be in Arusha for only 2 nights, third night, and then return on my way back. See you in a minute, eh? All right, darling. And then it's going to come close to a month. My family didn't know where I am. They knew I had left Nairobi, but they didn't know where I was. I was in Tanzania. I tell you, these things happen. I was in love. And I have never told anybody that I was bitten by a snake. You are getting to know now the first time, you people. Nobody I have ever told that I was bitten by a snake. How are you, my friend?
Yeah,
you finished?
Yes.
All right, well done.
Today.
Okay. You are partners training?
Yeah, we're training together.
Okay, that's good. I have a picture of you and me.
Yeah?
How
you used to do a pass, is it?
Yes. Do you want it?
Huh?
Next time, I'll give it to you.
Send it to me next
I'll give it
time,
to you. Very nice one. You are dressed in a coach uniform.
Coach, yeah?
Everything. Yeah. I was checking and I saw it. I still remember you. I'll give it to you next time. Yeah. All right.
I like it.
All right then. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. You did legs today.
Yeah.
Take it easy. All right then. Yeah. So now we are in Arusha. We are in Arusha, people. Now that is the story. That is the story. It's not any other story.